So I wasn't sure whether or not I would make a video regarding the issues revolving around pirate software, but after some personal reflection and a recommendation on my Discord, I decided it was a topic worth talking about. Now, this video isn't intended to drag pirate software through the mud. To be fair, he's already doing a good enough job doing that to himself, and if I'm being honest, creators much bigger than myself are already doing that. What I want to go over is the issue of pirate software's misuse of a very large platform to push a misinformed narrative. If you haven't guessed it already, I'm of course referring to his take on Stop Killing Games and the irresponsible approach he's taken regarding his large audience and his large influence. Now, the campaign against pirate software is totally self-inflicted and justified, I'll give you that, and I might go over some of the more recent issues in the near future, but in a way, I think it distracts us from what is, in my mind, a bigger issue, and we'll go over that in a second. Even if you've been living under a rock, chances are you're familiar with pirate software and Stop Killing Games and pirate software's ridiculous take on the initiative, but in case you're not, I'll give you a quick TLDR. If you're already familiar, skip ahead in the video. So, Stop Killing Games is an initiative to protect consumers from losing games they have already purchased, and pirate software, for one reason or another, decided to inject his own opinion on the Stop Killing Games movement in August of 2024. He effectively fabricated what the movement stood for using his own misunderstanding and pushed that narrative to his 2 million plus subscriber audience, going as far as to encourage his viewers to not sign it.
Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
For some reason, he thought this would kill live service games and had a focus on single-player games, among other things. It was a whole convoluted mess, dude. But simply put, the real purpose of this movement, which is almost diabolical to have to explain, is to ensure whatever video games you purchased are yours to own and can't be taken away from you. Now, there's a bit more nuance to it, but that's the simplest way of putting it. In the paraphrased words of Accursed Farms, the ability for a company to take away purchased goods is incredibly hostile to the consumer and potentially illegal. Unfortunately for pirate software, he opened up a whole can of worms by posting his misinformed take and refusing to take accountability for literally anything he said or done. I mean, the man has an insatiable need to always be right no matter what, even at the cost of his career, and it causes me so much pain to see. As a disclaimer, I will be talking very briefly about the personality traits I've observed regarding Jason or pirate software, and while I do have a degree in psychology, please know I'm not clinically trained, I'm not qualified to diagnose anybody, this is just the opinion of a moderately educated psych nerd. This constant need to be right is the hole he's digging himself into. There are for sure some narcissistic tendencies behind that, for example saying he's a professional programmer, that he's worked on large gaming titles, that he's a hacker.
You're a hacker. Like that's where you like kind of started.
An actual hacker.
An actual hacker. Like,
Yes.
Not like I'm a hacker type. No, you're an actual
Not a script
hacker.
kiddie.
You've won.
Like an actual hacker.
Yeah.
My last job was hacking power plants for the federal government. I
Yeah.
worked for the United States Department of Energy.
Yeah.
Big nerd.
So is
The list goes on, man. But in my opinion, I think this overwhelming need to be right stems from good old-fashioned insecurity. And to fill the void of discomfort that sort of insecurity creates, what better way to do that than to act like you're hot shit on a platform where 2+ million people are subscribed to you? And it gets to the point where if this sort of thing goes on long enough, you'll eventually say something that's wrong or otherwise get exposed, which is the reason for his code being put under scrutiny and, more importantly, him getting blasted for his misinformed opinion on Stop Killing Games. Now pretty much the entirety of the internet is putting his personality and integrity into question, which I'll say again isn't necessarily unjustified, but I do think it distracts us from the bigger issue, which is using a very large platform and a very large audience to spread misinformed opinions and encouraging your audience to act on those misinformed opinions. In this case, by not signing the petition.
The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. This shit sucks. That's a really stupid ass move. That's an incredibly stupid ass move. I think this is ass.
And the internet is even going as far as to question whether or not his voice is even real.
I'm here with Thor, founder of Pirate Software. How's your show been so far?
It's actually been amazing. It's our first time out here at Denver Comic-Con, and there's so many people, and they love the games, so it's been awesome.
And like, I get it, man. If you put your trust into a streamer who on the surface presents himself as a well-educated, high-intellect individual, and then he's doing something as minuscule as falsifying what his voice sounds like, I could understand why you might feel a little bit conned. Because if he feels the need to fake his voice, what else is he faking? You know what I mean? Right now, though, in my opinion at least, a fake voice is the least of our concerns. I'll concede that the misrepresentation of his professional background is a bit more of a severe issue, but generally speaking, right now at least, I think the focus is a little bit misplaced. Because the misuse of influence and the subsequent real-life impact that causes, to me at least, is much more severe and frankly a much bigger issue than even Jason himself. Because as consumers, if we don't think critically about this sort of behavior, it's bound to happen again. And whether we like it or not, influencers do have the potential for real-world impacts, at least when you have 2+ million subscribers. And of course, being an asshole publicly to people live on stream is not going to sit well with your audience and has the potential to bubble up and bite you in the ass, which is the phenomenon we're witnessing right now.
Yeah, it's too bad I'm the only mage in the party. You're right, Jen. If only someone else would cast Arcane.
Oh, since we have 2 mages, we could probably poly the ads.
Wait, we have 2 mages. Oh.
And if it wasn't so self-inflicted, you might even feel bad for the guy. But I digress. Focusing on things like a potentially fake voice or being a bad roommate takes focus off the issue of irresponsibly using your platform. Going as far as to tell people to not sign something because you don't understand it while having over 2 million subscribers isn't only wild, but incredibly reckless. Let's take a look at the timeline real quick. Officially, the Stop Killing Games initiative started in early August of 2024 following the infamous shutdown of The Crew, a game I owned, but never got around to playing, by the way. Moving on. As you can see, signatures started to roll in quick. I'm talking about 250,000 hits in, what is that, 2 weeks? Then enters our friend Pirate Software, who at the end of August comes in with his misinformed take and a behemoth of a following. And what do you know? The momentum stagnates virtually overnight. Now, I'm no expert. I took like 2 stats classes in college, but looking at this graph, it tells me something happened. And in my opinion, it's hard to argue that Pirate Software's influence didn't have something to do with this. I could be wrong, but I personally don't think I am. What I think further strengthens this case is that towards the end of June, Accursed Farms made his case against Pirate Software and, more importantly, clarified the purpose of the Stop Killing Games movement.
Our biggest critic by far is YouTuber and streamer Pirate Software, who goes by Thor. If your only exposure to Stop Killing Games has been this video, then you've been misinformed. This video is by someone who does not understand the campaign, has been trying to stop it, and has been making up what it is about. The problem is how incredibly influential this YouTuber has been. Remember that list of coverage on the campaign? Well, best I can tell, Thor's coverage has been bigger than literally anyone else on those lists. So let's clear this up. It's the first line on the website. Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games they have sold to customers.
And what do you know? Practically overnight, we jump a nearly 90-degree angle towards 1 million signatures, nearly doubling what it was stuck at for a year. Think about it like this. You have a platform with such reach and influence that it has the power to stop an initiative dead in its tracks virtually overnight. You need to take that sort of thing responsibly. And the reason I'm talking about this is because I don't see it being talked about enough. Right now, the internet is consumed with the character flaws of Pirate Software himself, but the actions he took against Stop Killing Games has real-life consequences, so much so it can actually harm us as video game consumers. And dude, I work in corporate. I know how these companies are. It won't stop at video games. If other companies see what studios like Ubisoft can get away with, bet your ass they'll find a way to do something similar. It's all about money to them. And that's why as creators, even somebody as small as me with 7.5k subs, have the responsibility to be well educated on topics we cover, because misinformation can easily have a domino effect that can ultimately hurt us in the long run. In the words of one of my best friends, and I'm paraphrasing here, being confidently wrong is dangerous. And although Pirate Software clearly has some deep-seated insecurities that create this need to feel smart, he has a way of speaking that presents as very confident and well-informed. Put those two together, and it creates a very dangerous recipe that can stop initiatives like Stop Killing Games right in their tracks. Anyways, that is my take on this situation. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. We are on the road to 10K, which is surreal to me. Leave a comment down below if you agree with me or disagree with me that Pirate Software misused his platform and was irresponsible with his take on Stop Killing Games, and I'll see you guys on the next one.